So the last phase now is really to strip down the electrics and rebuild them. I've taken the air filter off there, which I've got out here, which I'm just degreasing because it's got so many years of muck on it, so I just thought I'd clean that up while it's off. I need it off to get access in to change a couple of the cables, like the battery cable down to the starter, down to the solenoid. As you know, wiring loom in there is completely had it, so that's all going to be replaced. Got to check that the control box we've got on there is the correct one for the 12 volt. Didn't manage to snap a wire off here, not that it matters off the wiring loom, but this could all really do with a bit of a degrease in here as well while I'm doing it. But basically, I might take the toolbox off for better access as well. Replace all these cables and then reassembly. I've got the new housings for this. This has arrived. There's one here. Got all the bits I need. So should just be a little bit of a time job to put it all back together again, really, and give it a fire up. There's the new tank down there, ready to go on. Take the fuel bowl off that one and pop it on there. Batteries down there. Dynamo up here. So yeah, really, it's one of those jobs I just got to work with. Think I might take the bonnet off as well. I mean, meaning to do that, and I suppose really I wasn't in the right clothes to do it the other day, but I need to get that off really just to help me with access, and then put the thing back together. But you can see the gunge in here that's just built up over the years, and this is the cables here. These cables we've running against, like rubbing against the throttle linkage there, and that's worn all the way through, so that was shorting out. So that I've got a replacement for that. So really it's just to sort of tidy up and bring the thing back and get it all reconnected and start her up again. So which should all be relatively straightforward, famous last words, but I'll continue the video as I go. I've also got a new earth strap to go on here. This one, although there's nothing really wrong with it, it's a bit short and it's a bit ragged, and the clamp where it comes onto the battery is a bit worn. It's not really worth trying to salvage it, so I'm going to remove it and put a new one on. Taking the bonnet off now, so I should have done that a long time ago. Actually, it wasn't too hard a job, but as you can see, everything is far more accessible. So all I can say is don't mess about with that like I did. Get it off early. Now I can crack on with some of these other jobs, getting the water pump refitted. This top housing here with thermostat in it. I've just got to get the governor system here goes through this bracket. So what I don't want to do is to mess around and have to reset the governor. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark on this bar and on that U-clamp there, so when I put it back on I can get it back on the same position, so realigning that. But yeah, it's all coming together slowly but surely, a little way to go. That's the top of the that's the thermostat housing back on in place, and just adjusting the governor. Unfortunately, my method of marking it, when I took it off, I've lost the marks off the bar, although it looks like it's relatively easy to set up, so I'll just redo that now. But that's all back on. I'll come back to you in a minute when I get to the next stage. Right, so thermostat can go in, sits in there like that. Take these bolts out of here. New housing here to go on. Need to get the gasket for it, which I've left over here. There's the gasket, in there like that, and the cover, housing cover goes on there like that. So just going to get some, so you can see there in the corner there, so there's something there. And it's quite difficult one-handed. Do with an assistant really. Alright, so just get that bolted on there. So we're now got the governor back into position. I think that's all as I wanted it to be. It all seems to be operating fine now. When I've got it set so that when it's fully shut off, it's up. But when you open the throttle up, it comes down and then stretches to its point. But that's fully closed. So I think that's about how it's meant to be set up. I'll find out when I start her up. I've given it a bit of a clean off here, just a degrease just around here. It just makes it a little bit more accessible so I can see what's going on. I've got some new rubbers for the radiator mounts that just sit on there, which just stop it from vibrating against the metal underneath, so they're in position. So, stage of refitting the water pump now. I've realised this is definitely a replacement one now, because there is a SpareX code on the bottom of that. SpareX 40034. As you may remember, I was having problems here with the belt. For some reason, this dynamo, which is a 12 volt one, doesn't seem to sit well with this bracket and everything. I'm not sure whether I might have to look into this, because I've got a feeling that bracket may be in the wrong position, which is maybe it should be actually, instead of being on this belt here, it looks like it should be coming off this one, because at the moment the alternator won't go down any further than that because it's hitting against the bracket. I might have to go and do a bit of work. I mean, that's where it was when I took it apart, and it was sitting like that, but I think there's something wrong with that, so I'm going to go and have a little look on at the manual to see what I can find out. So I can't really work this out. I know we've got a different dynamo on here. We've got a 12 volt dynamo. I can't work out. It won't adjust down any more than it is at the moment. It's sort of it's hitting the bracket, so this adjuster serves no purpose at all because you can't tension it. It seems to fit on all right there. It's obviously an alternator conversion bracket, I think, on here. We've got spade terminals on the back, and I can't work out whether it's just fitted incorrectly or I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here. I think maybe I'll have to strip it down and see if I can find out if it'll fit on a different way. No, it won't. That is it. Maybe I'll have to go back together like this and just make do with it. So I've got the new wiring loom here, which is one that I've just recently bought, all made up. I've actually spent a bit of time just labelling it out so that I'm clear where it's all going to go. So just seeing how that's going to fit. I've got the control box pop under here, so I'm just going to work out the connections for that, sort that out, strip this lot out here, and as you can see, as I've shown you many times before, this is really completely had it in here. The wires are just bare and rubbing on each other, which is shorting out, so that's always been giving me a few issues. So now just got to get that back on. So the old loom's now out. I'm just putting the new one in, just running the connections through. Still a fair bit to go on it all, but I'm working out to wire the ammeter into it all as well, which is quite simply a question of breaking the cable between the control box and the ignition switch, I think it is, and just put that in line with that, and that'll give us a working ammeter. I need two hands for this job, so I'm going to go away and come back to you in a minute. I've decided to pack up for the day. I've got most of the loom in now, so that's all laid through, connected to the ignition switch there, running down, new coil wires connected, running through there, running through the loop there, around through to the dynamo, which isn't connected yet, and all reconnected down there to the solenoid or starter switch. The reason I'm stopping, the gauge of the wire that comes off the ammeter isn't really meaty enough to do the job, so I haven't got any other wiring at the moment, so I'm going to have to buy some tomorrow. So I thought I'd just leave the whole thing now and step back and have a relax maybe, and a glass of wine or a beer.